first guest is going to be a caller. He's real estate, owns a lot of property. He's a good friend of Don's, and she's on her way here. She's caught in the freeway. I think she just exited the freeway. Okay. And he does. He's involved with the boxing community, with celebrities and athletes, so he should be an interesting. He was showing a house. That's why he's not in the studio today.
Oh, okay. Can't wait.
His name is Frederick Hawkins, so he's here. All righty.
So our caller is here, and he's on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, you. How are you?
How you feeling, Crystal?
I am good. My co-host is Gilbert Buchanan. He's here. Dawn is on her way in. Traffic is bad for her. She was coming in from Ventura.
Okay, great.
She should be here. So I didn't get the bio. So what we're going to do is, we're talking about business, and I know you have from just what I've heard from Dawn, you have business going on. You're an incredible dad, and somehow, and I know this from his Instagram pictures. So I'm gonna slide my computer over so my co-host here can see your Instagram world, and then somehow or another you're involved with the boxing world. So why don't you tell us what you doing out there, dude?
No. Simply, I'm just a guy who works towards completion, man. It ain't nothing special, no special sauce, none of that. I just believe in making the ultimate sacrifice so you can live how you want to live, and that's just, I dab into real estate a little bit. I'm big in boxing, I'm in media and boxing, and that's the fun of my life, but the meat and potatoes is the property.
So how did you, what's happening here? My Facebook has been...
Man, I'm looking at some of your photos here, man. This is Gilbert Buchanan. I'm looking at some of your photos here. They look scary, man. You got that mean look on your face.
I must have gloves on. If I ain't got gloves on, it must matter.
Man, your opponents, man, looking at this, they'll know not to mess with you, man.
So do you box, or is it just you're around? This is actually the guy that just boxed.
I'm competitive to a guy that's walking down in the street. I wouldn't have a problem with him, but in terms of professionally, I just do it to stay in shape.
Okay. So this world. So I met him at the gym doing my thing with Don, the brutal treatment that happens every morning at the gym. I mean, 3 times a week at the gym. The abuse. And then Frederick actually had a 30-day run challenge. So we all participated. And then after we finished the 30 days, he took us all out to breakfast.
Oh, man. I'm missing out on that.
Yeah, you missed all 100 miles of it.
I know, man. So I hear you're a real estate mogul, man. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, simply put, I own a few properties here in Los Angeles, and fortunately enough, that it has afforded me to live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And it's just basically just common sense, nuts and bolts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cut off all the fat, save everything.
That's good, man. Much respect to that. I appreciate that, because many of us minority entrepreneurs, we're not investing in real estate, and that's a good thing for us to do if we want some level of longevity in this marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can't make, you can get a new wife,
you can
make a new baby, but they're not making any more dirt. It's capped off. And, I'm a firm believer in own where you live, own where you work. You know what I mean? And potentially own where you play. And I've literally been independent. I was laid off at 27, and I couldn't believe it, right? I was like, no. I was teacher of the year, and I was laid off. And I said, how can I be laid off? And then I realized I didn't own where I worked. And so I went on this investment thing, and from stocks to property, and the property hit, and now the stocks are hitting, and it's just honestly just literally common sense. It ain't nothing special. I just don't have expository income where I just waste money.
Right.
The only time I get what I want is if there's an asset attached to it.
I hear that.
Oh, that's amazing. So did you have a mentor, or did you have...
I have a great mentor. Black mentor, too, as well. And he's worth well over $20 million. No college education. Lives in a close to 10,000 square foot mansion in the marina.
That's great.
And he taught me the game, and I was smart enough to listen.
Yeah, very good.
And now it's just me just implementing the plan, A, B, C, D.
So
it's nothing hard about it. It's just people think like, oh, I need $50,000 to make an initial investment. But if you don't eat out, don't drink, don't smoke, you know what I mean? Instead of dating 5 girls, you date maybe 2. You know,
one low maintenance, one high maintenance.
If you do that, you'll save $25,000, $30,000, and when you see it growing, you'll be more inclined to pick up side jobs. You know what I mean? Because inspiration is in success.
Yeah.
So if you're saving $20,000, that's a symptom of success. So you'll be inspired to get to $30,000. Remember, when we were little kids and we want to get to $100.
Yeah.
Man, if I can get to $100, if I can get to $1,000, if I can get to $10,000, it's the same concept as an adult.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just, you know, if you can save $10 a day.
But I think we're so conditioned to having what we want and having it instantaneously that that's what makes it difficult for most people to save. So what did you do before when this job that you didn't own? What were you doing before this?
I was a school teacher. I was a school teacher for 7 years.
Yeah.
And
then one day they walked in and say, "That's it."
Yeah. They said, "Well, this will be your last year teaching." I was like, "Okay, let's go."
Okay.
You know what I mean? No sulking. I was hurt. I was devastated. You know, I thought I was going to be a teacher my entire life. I thought I was going to be a teacher and a high school coach, and I thought my life was pretty much laid out for me.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of the business world. And lo and behold, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Sometimes when disappointments happen to us, we got to look at it as a motivator, and we can't really beat ourselves up. All we got to do is just regroup, reorganize, and just refocus. That's really what it is.
But that breakdown was a breakthrough for me, man. Like, in real life, you know what I mean. And I am forever indebted to that superintendent.
Yeah. Do you call him up and say? Do you call him up and say thank you?
I just might. You know what? I might send him a thank you letter.
You should, man. Let's call him up and say thank you. I really appreciate what you did for me.
It was literally a blessing, man. You know? And,
so your mentor, he taught you and explained the real estate game and investment. Was he also your mentor for investing in the stock market?
No. I'm an ambulance chaser in terms of stock. So like, for example, if it's common practice. So if I know that there is a flood, BP had an oil spill, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Their stock dropped to maybe $20-something.
Yeah.
It was high 20s, low 30s, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bought BP stock.
Yeah.
I'm basically an ambulance check because I know in 2 months it's going to be back to normal and it's going to be a new story, or however long it took, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, kind of like when we had the recession in 2008, and Citibank stocks went down really cheap. I think it went down to $5, and
Bank of America the same way.
Yeah, and I kept speculating, man. I'm going, man, I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna get some of those, and I never did. And next thing you know, it's back over 60, and I think it's close to 100 now.
Yeah, you gotta act on that kind of stuff. You gotta act like right now,
fast, right? Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna give an example. Like, I'm actually gonna tell this story. This is gonna be like one of my next stories on Instagram. I told people 15 months ago. I said, you need to buy Nike stock. I thought it was low value, right?
Yeah.
And this was September of last year, so it's been about 15 months.
Yeah.
And now I cashed out my Nike stock, and I'm gonna turn it into an apartment building.
Wow.
15 years, and in 15 years, that standalone apartment building will generate over $1 million.
I hear that, man. I hear that. That's phenomenal.
You need to do you do classes on that, Frederick?
I do. I have a Patreon where people pay and subscribe to it, but me and my business partner actually want to get in the community.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing sexy about us. We're just average looking, quote unquote, average looking Americans, and we just work every day. We have a family, you know what I mean? We shop at the same stores, we drive the same cars.
Yeah.
We pass by each other every day, but it's just if you had someone to inspire you and hold you accountable the first 4 steps, it would change your whole entire mind.
Exactly.
As it relates to money, as it relates to
life,
and how you view. You understand?
That's true.
People misunderstand. People don't understand. If you go into a store and ask for 10% off at a 99-cent store, you're going to have the same practice going into buying your house asking for 10% off. It's the practice of the behavior.
Yes.
People say, oh, it's just 10 cents. Oh, it's just $20.
Right.
Oh, but it's the practice of the behavior.
Yeah.
If you have that consistent practice, then when you get to the $1 million realm, then the 10 cents that you save here, the $10, that's $100,000.
Yeah.
And that's priceless equity, mental equity. That's priceless practice equity, like Malcolm Gladwell has a 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah.
Where you have to put things in practice for 10,000 hours, and I'm a firm believer in just practicing the behavior.
Yeah.
It trains the mindset to practice the behavior.
Right.
And that's to simply say yes. I want to get into our community and tell them how easy it is. Like I don't understand how 2 women can be best friends and not own a house together. I don't understand that at all. I don't fathom. Like for real.
No, you're right.
Like for example, hypothetically speaking, one of them has a Section 8 voucher, the other one works, and the other one just pays regular cash.
Yeah.
I don't understand for the life of me. You got 2 single parents. I'm just hypothetical situation. They're best friends. They babysit for one another.
Yeah.
Person go out of town. They go on a date. They need to borrow $100. They borrow from each other. I don't understand the mindset, how you can't turn that into home ownership.
Yeah.
It's the same practice.
I hear that,
you
man.
Understand what I'm saying?
I hear that.
15 years, your equity value that went up 30%, and now y'all can split it and go your separate ways, and now both of you guys can be homeowners in 4 years.
Yeah.
I think it's because they don't know. In fact, it's interesting that you say that because we've only seen each other at the gym, but I'm actually involved in the community, and I'm the co-director of an organization called Recycling Black Dollars. Is one of the things that I do besides the show, and I'm a business coach. So when the Metro train was being when they first started the construction on Metro, what they did was most of the businesses were not they didn't own the businesses, the buildings that they were in. So we lost about 379 businesses on the Crenshaw line. And one of the things that when I asked the question, let's say they were at that location for 20 to 30 years, when I asked them, had you not thought about buying the property? And they were like, we didn't know we could. And so even though it seems like common sense, so many of our people they don't think like that. And so one of the reasons I was asking, do you do classes? Because I belong to several women's groups, my organization. This is the kind of message we want to deliver to them, to inspire them that, like you said, an average individual, not someone working in corporate America, this is what they were doing. Something could be bad happen in some people's mind. That would have been devastating. But for you saw that opportunity to really take, to just fly.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
So that's a message and the inspiration I would say we need. Gilbert works, he does a lot of workshops and training as well. And we all marvel at all this great information that we disseminate on a regular basis, that you have to still coach these people and literally pull them to embrace a very lucrative opportunity.
No, you're right. And when you look at us I always know this, or not know this. This is just my hypothesis. We're only been civilians of America since the end of the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is the first generation of black wealth.
Yeah.
So when you put that into play, we don't know what money is. We don't know the true understanding of home ownership, property ownership, job ownership, owning where we play. We don't know the full destiny of that. So we just, as a whole people, we're happy just to be free. Your auntie is just happy that she don't have to drink out of the black water fountain. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So from that construct, it's like, well, I'm living my best life. I don't have to on a day-to-day basis adhere to a white man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when in actuality, over the duration of your life, you're under someone's thumbnail if you're not owning the direction of your generational wealth from a spiritual perspective, from a physical perspective, and from a financial perspective. You understand? Because the goal is generational wealth.
And that's very, very true. And so right now, young people that are embracing that concept is really, because I would say older than 50, they figure, okay, well, it never happened. It's probably not going to happen. That's kind of the fatalist attitude that they have. So it's our young people that we need to really infuse this information into, so they can start making the right decisions right now, so that they can create that generational wealth.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. I wish that I could stand on a pillar and just like artificially inseminate the information in everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the gift of application, but it's not that easy.
Yeah, because some will receive it and some will not. Well, if you want a platform, I definitely have several platforms where you can infuse that information into people, because that's our goal for 2017.
You mean 2019?
I mean 2019.
Because it's so easy. It's not rocket science.
Right.
Well, I know when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's pretty much what that book was about, was just learning and understanding and recognizing and identifying opportunities and making the decision based upon an entrepreneur mindset and versus a kind of, I guess that would have been an academic or a safe space, what they calculate as space. As safe, but really in actuality is the least safe place you can be, because somebody else is controlling your destiny.
Yeah, that Rich Dad Poor Dad was a hell of a book, because it actually had like actual numbers in the book, like where you can tangibly see like how much are you making, how much is this property worth, like it's just
We entered, the game. I don't know if you've ever played the cash flow game that Robert Kiyosaki created back. He did it back in.
I've never played it, but I read the book.
Okay, the game is absolutely phenomenal. So we at the holidays time, well, I bought it a couple Christmases ago, and so we play it because it could take. It's like it's Monopoly and life on steroids. So I remember my sister's in the real estate industry, and they own everybody owns property. But I remember when my nephew, not knowing what his parents did, he kept seeing this card that kept popping up going duplexes, and if you have any duplexes, then you can sell them for whatever the amount, $80,000 a piece. If you depending anywhere from a 3 to 4 to 5 to 8 duplex, and so. After about the third or fourth round around the board, he goes, what are these duplex? What are these plexus things? What are they talking about? So his parents explained he went into probably your mode, Frederick. He went, okay. So it was like he went, and that was what he was getting. He was manifesting the purchase of these duplexes. So he won the game the first time out because he happened to own 16 duplexes, and a card popped up that said you can sell them at $135,000 a piece. And so he made over $1 million. And the whole idea of the game is to get out of the rat race and get into the cash flow of life, which is the investment side, which is what you're doing. So you actually would love that. And they have a kid version so you can teach your children how to do it as well.
Sure. I went property shopping with my daughter. I literally just left looking at the property. I went shopping with her today.
Oh, okay.
I'm literally like reinforcing every single
how
thing.
how
I also have this thing too. Here's my understanding. If mom and dad went to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I give them everything that I learned, they don't have to go to college. It's just my humble opinion. It's like I'm just handing off everything that I've learned.
Right.
So your life should be accelerated. Your mind should be accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get into this thing where, okay, you go to college, but when in actuality, like it's supposed to be, everything is supposed to be elevated from generation to generation to generation to generation. If I took the white man books and internalized it, you shouldn't have to read the white man's books and internalize it again. It should be simple. Like take my genius. God already made you talented. Use your talent with my pragmatic experience, with my information, and you elevate it.
Yeah.
If you want to become a doctor, you go to college. But if you just want to go to college and just for a 4-year degree, but if you need college to be a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever the case may be, it requires that, then you should go. But if you're an entrepreneur, I think we need to teach our kids we don't necessarily need college because if you think about it pragmatically, you're going to owe Sally Mae, you're going to owe your rent, you're going to owe your car payment, you're going to owe on your cell phone, you're going to
jeopardize your future.
Yeah, you're already in debt when you get started. In fact,
it's already auctioned off.
Right, exactly. In fact, I went to a meeting recently, and that's what they're suggesting, that young people get nano certificates that actually immediately gets, they learn a craft or a skill, and that they can immediately get into that industry, within a two-year period. And then, and that's basically, and these were all educators. These are all community colleges, and they're all saying, unless you want to be a professional, a doctor, lawyer, CPA, which requires those kind of education. If you want to be an educator, you need those degrees. But other than that, tech is where you need to be. So you can get into that. If you want to be in the industry, there's a 2-year certificate for that. So it's almost saying the 2-year college format is it gets you quick, fast, and in a hurry into a marketplace, whether you want to be an employee or you want to be an entrepreneur, because you can use those skill sets. And that's one of the things I think for us as Black people, that at one point we went to school to be plumbers, and we learned trades, and you create your business